A new Lego store opens up near me tomorrow, but I'd recommend waiting because people are going to be lined up for blocks. What's going on, YouTube? It's Tuesday, which means we have our weekly Tuesday reset to go over. We're inside the Infinite Archive, inside of Apocrypha, to go over Filer Ull's inventory. And for those of you who don't know, he resets every Tuesday at 10 a.m. and then he runs for a whole week. And he's got some leads, and if you're short on time, I will spoil it. He's got a really good treasure map for us. But let's go piece by piece and restart with our antiquity leads, and restart with Ancestor, Samite, Undershirt, which is actually not too shabby. If you want to be able to skip the farm, you don't have to farm the Balsanar dungeon final boss, which admittedly, that's probably my least favorite way to get a lead as a final boss in a dungeon, because you could find yourself sitting in queue times if it's a pretty niche one, because nobody wants to run these long dungeons with you. So this could potentially be worth it, but is the Mythic worth it? And it gives you access to the Crypt Cannon vestments. You can no longer cast ultimate abilities. Instead, casting an ultimate ability transfers your ultimate resource to your living group members, divided equally among them, and you gain minor heroism while you're in combat. Now, a lot of people have tried to figure out how to finagle this into trials and things like that, and even dungeons, but a lot of what I think the value of this set comes from is actually ball groups in PvP. If you're in a 4-person ball group and somebody ults you, and let's say you get hit by a Dawnbreaker, a Meteor, a Dragon Leap, Corrosive Armor, anything, somebody can pop this vestment and they can immediately ult you again almost. Essentially, you can use this to ulti farm and utilize your group to make sure that you are utilizing your ultimates in quick succession to basically finish off anybody that would try to attack you. This is actually a pretty underrated PvP mythic in that sense, just because it does require a bit of teamwork, but if you can make it work, it's actually a really good mythic, I think, for that specific utilization. It will obviously come down to if you think that you're ever going to be in a situation where you want to try to finagle something like this, and obviously the person that's wearing the Crypt Cannon is not doing the ultimate themselves, they're doing the ultimate generation, and so they're not going to necessarily need to be the key man in the party, just the persons with the mythic. But that's how I would use it. If you have any other uses for this mythic, put it in the comments below, because this is definitely a unique one. And so we go from there to the Woven Straining Bowl. Now, is the Woven Straining Bowl worth your money? The answer is no. You just pick it off the ground. If any of you ever buy a mythic for 5,000 archival fortunes that you can just pick up in the overland, and you can look at the map on screen right now and go pick this up, I will slap you with the pool noodle aggressively. Don't buy this. This next one is a bit unique because the Scourge Harvester Mask is actually something that's pretty valuable, and I want to show you the PC prices of it here so you can get a general idea. Now, it's important to note that these listings from an hour ago are after people have already seen that it is going to be available to be purchased with Archival Fortunes this week. So just take those with a grain of salt. But generally, this could be a pretty good money for value. If you find yourself wanting to utilize this mask, and I'll bring it back on screen here, you can see how he looks, because we actually did the math on how much 2,000 Archival Fortunes is worth, and we're going to break that down even more when we look at our maps here, but it's about 83,000 gold for 2,000 Archival Fortunes to be able to turn that to gold. And on console, I would say it's about 18,000 gold for every 2,000 Archival Fortunes. So if you were to extrapolate that, it is actually still decent money for fortunes. The only problem is that I generally don't recommend buying masks just to have them, because why? There's no sticker book completion reward. So unless you want to have this little face up here, you don't necessarily need to purchase it, but if you did want it, it's good money for value. And now the big one, the Deadlands Treasure Map. Now, we just did a video breaking down how much 2,000 Archival Fortunes is worth, and an easy way to determine if this is worth it for you or not, is the fact that it was only worth about 83,000 gold on PC, and Deadlands Treasure Maps, even after you can now buy them for 2,000 Archival Fortunes, you can see are still being listed for 100,000 gold, because they retain so much value. Let's talk about why Deadlands Treasure Maps are so valuable. And the reason for this is, to put it simply, not only are the overland sets from the Deadlands very good, but you're also rolling for things such as companion gear, but mostly you want to get these ancient motifs right here. About 1 in every 3, sometimes 1 in every 2, sometimes 1 in every 4 treasure maps that you open, you're going to get something that's worth quite a bit of money. Now, it's important to note that there's a big price discrepancy here. Let's talk about that. So whenever I talk to anybody about selling motifs, it's not just the motif that you get, it's also the body piece. How many of you guys go out and spend lots of money on a belt versus how many of you kind of splurge on a chest piece? You know, people are seeing those big chest muscles. You want to have a good chest piece to go with it. And you can see here, just the one we're looking at, 240,000 gold for a chest, only 119,999 gold for the Daedric boots. Because most people, they're not going to be looking at your feet. That's probably a little weird. They're going to be looking at your chest, which I guess is more respectful. Meaning that overall, this is a fantastic week if you want to guys go out and buy these treasure maps. This is a great way that if you've been farming the Infinite Archive to turn all of those archival fortunes into a decent chunk of gold. And if you're feeling a little risque, actually companion gear jewelry is actually one of the best ones to roll for. Why is that? Well, every single companion needs to have jewelry, whether it's a healer, a DPS, or a tank. And the beautiful thing is unlike things like weapons, you're going to get a trait that is conducive with generally one of those things. For example, if you get a tanking trait on a resto staff, well, you were close to saving yourself a lot of money, but you didn't. But if you get a healing ring, even if you don't have a healing companion currently, you can use it in the future. That's why jewelry is probably the best one to gamble on to save you money, because again, unlike the treasure maps, these are non-tradable. So you can sell all of the goodies that you get from those treasure maps, not the treasure map itself, but you can't sell what you open from these companion gears pieces of equipment, so it's only the value you're saving. Another important piece to note is that 2024's Q4 update will be 2 new companions, so that will probably see a resurgence in the companion gear market. So if you're not even getting companion gear from here, I would actually encourage you guys to buy any companion gear that you need now versus waiting for the end of the year, because the prices are only going to go up because the supply and demand is going to be greatly affected by the new companions being released. Then we have our 2 notable books that we skip every single time, and here's where we get to the bound affix scripts. Now, I have been pretty iffy on buying scripts with archival fortunes. We obviously go to the second vendor next, which will show us basically what you can buy for gold. But all of these, I would say, are relatively easy skips because most of them come from Rewards of the Worthy, which most of you probably have already received. Then we have our generic things that we almost never touch, essentially our fragments, because, again, all of these fragments have a higher than average drop rate when you complete the first area per day. For example, you go get the Sigil Globlo. I hate saying that word so much. You go to the public dungeon it's associated with, head on down to Somerset, get yourself a little cat, and the first couple things that you can kill, whether it's bosses, whether it's mobs, you have a high chance to get a fragment. Do that. Don't spend 7,000 archival fortunes, and all of these fragments probably only resell for like 10 to 20,000 gold at max. Not worth it. And we have our clue, which don't buy a clue with Fertale's Attribute. Don't do that. And then inside of Ivea, inside the Scholarium, we have our second vendor. Now, he's a little bit weird because he rotates scripts every single Tuesday as well. It's a bit of a weird one, but you can basically utilize this and think, do I need to purchase these immediately? For example, the script one here for pull is in. Now, pull is very helpful, especially if you're tanking or doing any supportive support role. This could potentially be worth 8,000 gold because sometimes RNG knows when you want something, it won't give it to you. And so if you're farming every day, you're doing Mages Guild dailies, Fighters Guild dailies, Undaunted dailies, Rewards of the Worthy, daily quests, world event quests, you're probably getting a bunch of scripts. But if you need one, 8,000 gold is certainly one that you can afford to purchase. I don't think Intellect and Endurance is any decent. Anchorite's Potency is certainly okay, but I don't think 60,000 gold, unless you really need it immediately, not worth it. But that's kind of where I fall on the Tuesday vendor for our second one. He's always a little bit lighter, thankfully, because these videos can't go too long. We already have enough vendors that we go over every week. But everyone, thank you guys so much again for watching. This has been our Tuesday vendor review. As always, glad to be here with you guys, even on my lunch break. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What do you think of the Crypt Cannon Mythic? Are you guys going to use this to purchase any of those Deadlands map to try to get some of those super rare motifs that do not drop from any other source, including those sneaky rewards boxes that you can get from events? They make sure to keep those separated. Let me know in the comments below. And as always, we are doing our 3 giveaway drawings. All you have to do to enter is be subscribed, and for an additional entry into the first drawing, just follow on Twitch and Twitter. Second thing is just make sure that you leave a comment in the comments below. Just don't get them removed by YouTube, and then you'll be good to go. And then the third thing is look for a hidden word to be flashed upon the screen. I just want to thank you guys one last time. Here's my cat here. She's been napping on me, but she just decided to start walking around. And so if that doesn't earn a like and subscribe, I don't know what will. But I'll catch you guys later. Bye, guys.
You better remember to like and subscribe to Jakeclips. Or you should. I might have to pluck your eyes if you don't. Or, better yet, I'll skip rope with your entrails. Do it now. Subscribe. Ta-ta. Off with you.